I'm going to read you a little blurb directly from the VA kind of the horse's mouth, right? So the first part that we read was from DAV, so the Disabled American Veterans, great organization, helps to champion bills and stuff for us there at the Capitol. From the VA's news release, the title is VA proposes rule to extend presumed areas of exposure to Agent Orange and other herbicides, making it easier for exposed veterans to receive their earned benefits. I'm going to read again a little part in here regarding just basically just the opening paragraph. So it says, the Department of Veterans Affairs issued a proposed rule outlining plans to expand the locations and timeframes for which VA presumes exposure to Agent Orange and other herbicides. If this proposed rule becomes final, VA will implement a new presumption of exposure to locations where herbicides were tested, used, or stored outside of Vietnam. Specifically, this proposed rule would add locations in the United States, and then there's a link here for the full list of locations in the US as well as Canada and India. They're going to add those to the existing presumptives for Agent Orange in Vietnam, Cambodia, Johnson Atoll, Guam, American Samoa, Korea, Laos, and Thailand. So India, for example, is not on that list, and it's in that region. The wind blows hard enough, maybe Asia, or maybe they had some stored in some area in India. I don't know, but this is an important thing, and I think that it's going to offer some good benefits here for folks. Here's the piece I want to throw out. The veteran in that time frame who worked in the U.S. never went to Vietnam, but they were around. They were in an area that's going to potentially be a presumed location. Passes away from a heart attack, right? Never connected with the VA, thought to themselves, well, I did 3 years, 4 years, 2 years, whatever time I did, and I did it in whatever state in the U.S. I don't qualify for anything, right? Then they die of a heart attack. That surviving spouse will now be able to file for dependency indemnity compensation if that veteran had maybe ischemic heart disease, or maybe they had hypertension, and that those became a contributing cause. One of those became a contributing cause to death. Then they could be ending up with dependency indemnity compensation, which pays out between about almost $1,700 a month tax-free, all the way up to over $3,000, depending on various factors. So this doesn't just affect the veteran; it affects the spouse. Randy, your thoughts?
Yeah, we've talked about it a little bit on this channel before. I've used the term sort of family inventory. So you have to take a look at your family, see what's going on. This particular topic that we're talking about right now tends to apply to an older veteran population. So if they were stateside, if they handled, used, stored, tested, whatever it may be, Agent Orange, I think it's time to have a conversation. And in a previous episode, we talked about it all starts with a conversation. So have a look at who's in the family, have a look at the conditions that they're experiencing, and do some of these things tie back to that service member's time in uniform. Now, the Department of Defense says it got rid of Agent Orange back in 1970. So some of these folks that may be suffering from this may be aging out. So now's the time to have that family inventory, talk a little bit about what's going on, and then reach out to a VSO, get some help from them. Again, this is just sort of an initial step, like Jason said, but now's the time to get ahead. So if this drops and this benefit becomes a presumptive positive, get after it. That's what I got. Chris, over to you.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt, because you never know things where the Agent Orange exposure, actually, because it's cancers, it's birth defects, it's things like diabetes, it's lung issues. It could have lots and lots of different impacts that could be genetically passed on. So, it is important for you to get smart on the subject, important for you to make sure that if you are a veteran who is exposed or a loved one of a veteran who is exposed, to take action on this and actually do your research, because you never know what has contributed to some of the ailments and diseases that could be hitting your family.
Absolutely. And here's the big thing, right? It's awareness. It's knowing what's happening. It's being aware of the different benefits that are out there. Again, I think that this one's great. I'm hoping that they push it through quicker than not. Reaching out to your congressional members is always good. Just kind of keeps it on their radar. They're not involved in this. This is not a law. This is not some sort of a bill or an act that's trying to get passed. This is a proposed rule change within the VA. The VA notifies all the respective parties involved, stakeholders, and so forth through the Federal Register, and so they don't need Congress to do anything. But your congressional member could reach out and say, hey, where are you guys going to get this thing done anytime soon? This is, really important to my constituency, right? So the more people that talk about it will create an environment of which maybe you'll kind of poke the VA and get them to move this along. It's long overdue, sadly. I'm glad that it is coming into effect. And like I said before, it's not just for the veteran. It's going to absolutely impact the surviving spouses and so forth. So with that, we'll go ahead and conclude it there. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.